Hey coaches, ever come up with a really good kids game or technique and then when you go to run it, the kids just stare at you like they have absolutely no idea what's going on? Or even worse, they just don't engage at all? Well, it might not be the game or technique itself. It might just be the language that you're using to explain it. Today, I'm going to break down how to take your adult ideas and turn them into kid-friendly language so that your kids' BJJ classes are built exactly for that. So here's what's happening. You come up with this really great technique or this really great game, but it's based on things like posture, control, and timing. And the problem is you're using those words to try and explain it to them. You're using the words base, you're using the words posture, you're using the words control or guard retention, and you're expecting kids to understand what those words mean. Phrases like control the space, manipulate their base, break their alignment, they sound really smart and they work really well. But for a kid, they have no idea what you are talking about. So if your explanation sounds a little bit like a seminar, it's too much. The key is knowing who you're talking to. A 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 10-year-old, they all process language differently. Young kids are still developing abstract thinking, so they need concrete, visual, and emotional language to help them to understand. Use verbs they know. Push, crawl, chase, grab. Use fun themes. Animals, superheroes, fairy tales, ninjas, whatever you can think of. Paw Patrol is a really popular one. Avoid Jiu-Jitsu jargon unless you have already been able to build it into their understanding. So instead of saying, maintain your top pressure, you could say, I want your chest to be so heavy. Imagine you're like a crocodile trying to eat its lunch. You want to squish the person down all the time. Or you could say, imagine that you're trying to give the person a really, really big hug and you don't want to let them stand up. Keep your chest so heavy. Same thing, kid-friendly language. Maintain top pressure, pretend you're a crocodile. So here is the secret to being able to create kid-friendly games using your adult ideas. Use storytelling as much as possible. Tell a story, tell a theme, tell an idea. And I can guarantee they're gonna understand things so much better. And honestly, the sillier the better. Let's use dirty feet as an example. For adults, we're talking about guard retention. We're talking about being able to keep our legs in front to avoid the top player being able to get the control of the bottom player. But for little kids, that is a lot of information. So here's what I do instead. Same concept, same game, except now the little kids have really, really dirty feet. They're going to imagine that they went outside and they jumped in muddy puddles and then they stood in dog poo. Oh, yuck. And their feet are so dirty. And now they want to keep putting their really, really dirty feet all over the top player. And the top player, they want to try and get past the person's legs because they're really grossed out by these dirty feet. They want to try and push those legs away and they want to get their tummy all the way onto that person's tummy. They want to get chest to chest connection. They want to get side control. But am I using side control? No. I'm just saying get past the legs. That's it. I don't care how they do it as long as they get past the legs. But for little kids, all of a sudden it's like really funny. They're like, oh my God, my feet are so dirty. I'm trying to put my feet. But it gives them something tangible and something that they can relate to. Kids always have dirty feet. So now you're telling them to put those dirty feet on someone. They can understand that. They understand why they're doing that. So now they've got their dirty feet on their partner and wherever their partner moves, they get their dirty feet back on there. It's guard retention. That's it. Simple, kid-friendly language. You've told a story, and now you're gonna watch these kids be little weapons trying to get past these kids' legs because their guard is just getting too good. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about your adult concept. Think about the technique or the game that you're wanting to use. I want you to remove the jiu-jitsu jargon. I want you to take your adult idea. I want you to take your game or your technique and sit down and think about what the concept is that you're trying to teach and then remove the jiu-jitsu words. Then replace those jiu-jitsu words with a story or an idea. So rather than having frames, they have soldiers. Their soldiers are for their castle. Don't let the person inside your castle. If they try to get inside your castle, use your soldiers, your frames. It's the same thing, but now they get it. They have the understanding because they can relate to it. After this, take it to your class. Try it. Observe how they move. Observe how they understand. Take the game, take the technique, and take the time to really notice and observe what is happening in your class. Do they get it? Are they able to move the way that you intended them to? Are they then getting those jiu-jitsu concepts without having to use the jiu-jitsu jargon? And once they start getting those concepts and they start moving the way that you intend them to, or they're getting the technique or they're getting the movement, then you can start adding those jiu-jitsu words in. Then you can start talking about side control, mount position, half guard. If that's the way you want to do it, go for it. But expecting them to understand those words in the beginning, not gonna happen. Remember, kids are not adults. They don't think like adults, and they certainly do not train like adults. Might work the first time, it might not. Maybe your game or maybe your technique or maybe even just your concept and your story is too much. If it goes past 2 minutes, just forget about it. If you can't explain what you're trying to get them to do in under 2 minutes, it's a waste of your time. They're not going to remember it. They're not going to even think about what you're trying to get them to do. So take the time to observe your game, observe how that they were able to respond to it. Look at their faces, because that blank face after you've just spent 10 minutes explaining how to get an underhook, that's devastating for you as a coach, because you're like, wow, how do you not get what an underhook is? How do you not understand what I'm trying to tell you? Why would they understand that? Why would you expect that they even understand that? They're not going to get it. They do understand pinning someone down. And if you can tell them to get that arm right under that arm, because it's going to help them to pin that person down, they're going to do it. Then you start to build a library. That's when you start to build a library of games, a library of techniques, and a library of stories. And you can keep the same theme if you want. I use a lot of fairy tales, so a lot of our games are all based around dragons and castles and treasure and soldiers and all sorts of things. But you don't have to build it like that. Yours might be about like ninjas or zombies, or I don't know, anything you like, whatever you like, build it around that. You might have a different game or a different story for every game, and that's cool too. I know one guy who does an awesome game with an armbar, and he talks about going fishing because you pull him a fishing rod. How cool is that? Simple, easy. Everyone knows how to go fishing. Everyone knows that you got to pull a fishing rod. You pull a fishing rod, you pull the armbar as well. But did you tell them that they had to pull that armbar? No, because they understand that to get it, they've got to extend the arm, because it's the same thing you would do when you reel in a fishing rod. Build your library of games. Build your concepts and ideas, and watch how your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes start to transform. Watch how kids respond with more engagement, with more fun, with more ability to understand those jiu-jitsu concepts without the difficult jiu-jitsu jargon. So if your kids' Brazilian jiu-jitsu techniques and games aren't landing, don't scrap them, don't panic. You just need to change the language. Have a think about how you're talking. Think about how long you're talking for. Think about the concepts and think about the jargon that you're using. Remove the hard terms. Replace them with verbs they understand, and watch how your jiu-jitsu classes transform. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel and follow along on the Art of Coaching Instagram, where I share tips and tricks daily for kids Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coaches.